Hello everyone, and welcome back to some new Super Mario Bros. To you. In the last episode, we took on 7 Ghost House. In fact, we finally were able to remove the last ground touch from Nico BBQ and Nathaniel Bandy's challenge. But this raised a question about this level. Now in the video, I went ahead and described how the entire Ghost House worked, in all of its twice with a map. If you're wondering how the Ghost House works, a link to that will be in the top right corner. But I have a question. What is in all of the doors we couldn't access? Now some of you might be wondering, what doors? Well, the room is a twice, in fact 3 times. But in the first twice, we can only enter one door. The other 6, while one of them is accessible, although it's a fake door, the other 5 are completely inaccessible until we enter a similar looking room, or twice, and we're able to go up into a higher section of the level. But at the beginning of the level, in this twice, we can't access those, making them inaccessible. So, what's in them? Well, that sadly is possible to answer and impossible. Now, by normal means, it is completely impossible to get into them. But by possible means, or impossible means, we're able to get into there and figure out what's in them. And to put it sadly, they seem to just be fake doors, but it makes sense as the game needs to make sure it's not wasting resources. But the question is, how do we get there? And how is this a challenge? Well, for the purposes of this mini challenge, the goal is simple. Open all 6 fake doors here and escape with the time limit not hitting 0. Which is surprisingly more difficult than it seems. We're allowed to use any power-ups, any amount of players, and any Yoshi, although the Yoshis won't help at all. But let's get into how we're actually going to access these impossible doors. Hacks? Glitches? Neither. We're going to be using the most broken tool in any Mario game, the Wii U gamepad. Now, something that has been used before is by actually tapping on a bubble, or a player that's inside of a bubble, with the Wii U gamepad, we can pop them out of said bubble. Now, these little pockets with the doors in them are actual air pockets, not just a texture. Meaning, if a player in a bubble were to get to one, we would be able to pop them out into that area. Now, that might sound easy at first, but remember, they have to be in an open area. So even if a little bit of them is in a wall, we can't pop them out. Secondly, we have to deal with the randomness of these bubbles. Now, a bubble doesn't care about walls. It doesn't care about what any of the players are doing. It will just float around in a random pattern, which is great for normal play, but for here, it means it makes them extremely hard to control. Now, by shaking on a remote, it will fly to the nearest alive player. Meaning if a player is, well, anywhere on screen, it will fly with a high amount of momentum towards it. Although, that's not very useful, as we're going to be having one player at the very bottom waiting so he can enter the real door. So, how are we going to be able to do this? Well, to put it softly, we're going to have to be using a whole lot of RNG. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Here we go into the Spinning Spirit House. Now immediately we're going to want to go ahead and enter this door. And now we get to the room, where we're going to have to clear out all 6 of these fake doors before finishing the level. Now the easiest fake door is obviously the one at the very beginning. Next are the 2 near the middle, because from my testing, it seems like the multiplayer bubbles like to go towards the middle. So pretty much all 4 of these near the center are pretty easy to hit. The real problem doors come from the ones in the top right and bottom left corner. Now, as you saw, even if a player gets close, they have to be completely in order to be able to pop that. And they'll love to turn around in the absolute worst possible spots. They'll get really close before just deciding to bail. And the yellow toad here certainly agrees with that. But thankfully we're able to go ahead and get Luigi up here. And if you're wondering why I'm stumbling around a little bit, it's a little bit difficult to use 5 controllers at once. Now we're going to have Luigi do the same thing with the one on the top right. But Yellow Toad finally got down to the bottom left. And now we only have 1 door left, and a whole 230 seconds left. How hard could that last door be? Well, it's actually pretty hard, because again, the characters like to fly towards the center, meaning the door on the edge will be a very difficult door. So we're going to have to hope that our luck prevails. And also, I'm going to be trying to go ahead and do some luck manipulation. By going ahead and putting one character to the side, we can give another character some momentum. Which just barely actually worked. And with that, the challenge is almost complete. Now we only have to escape with our life. Well, at least one of us does. If we run out of health, it's still okay, as long as we make it to the end. But now we're going to have to deal with 4 controllers all at once. This is where things get fun. So after making our way here, we're going to enter the first door. Well, at least that's what we needed to do. We can still go ahead and make our way down here, and it'll be just fine. In fact, it'll give us some coins. We can do that, and this will put us in the second twice. And then we're going to go ahead, head up here. And then we'll head to the third twice. But we only have 60 seconds left. So the clock is definitely definitely ticking. We're down to 50 seconds. and we still have a couple of rooms left. So while it might have seemed like we were ahead on time, we're definitely cutting it down to the wire. And with a whole 40 seconds left, we are able to beat the inaccessible door challenge. I guess thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.